Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Kuratala Said from the Mathematics Department of APS Fort Road Rawalpindi. I welcome you all to the AppSex online support program weekly video lesson of mathematics for grade 8. This lesson is about your week 7 assignment. As you all know that you are continuing the same book in grade 8 that you studied in grade 7, that is New Syllabus Mathematics book 2. Today we'll study few topics from chapter 14, sets. The topic for today's lecture is Venn diagrams, universal set, complement of a set, subsets and proper subsets of a set. Let me share the objectives with you. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to express the given sets by a Venn diagram. Recognize the universal set. Recognize the complement of a set. Recognize a subset and proper subset of a set, and hence list the subsets and proper subsets of any set. Before we formally begin the lecture, let's have a look at the things we already know about one of the most fundamental concepts of algebra, that is the concept of a set. A set is a well-defined collection of distinct objects called elements. The elements of a set can be anything. They can be numbers, letters of the alphabet, books, animals, and so on. Here the word well-defined and the word distinct are also very important. A well-defined set is a set with exact elements without any doubt. For example, a set containing a subject in grade 8 is well-defined, whereas a set containing a popular actor is not well-defined because some people may consider an actor popular while others may not. Also, the word distinct means that each element of the set must be unique and no two members of a set may be the same. So the set containing elements ABA is the same as the set containing elements AB. Sets are often denoted by capital letters of English alphabet. An empty set is a set that contains no elements in it and is denoted by the Greek letter phi or empty curly brackets. A finite set is a set that contains a definite number of elements in it. For example, the set A containing elements 1, 2, 3, 4, or set B containing elements 1, 2, 3 up to 100. An infinite set is a set that contains an indefinite number of elements in it. For example, set C that contains elements 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. This ellipsis shows that there is an obvious pattern that goes on forever. These are multiples of 2 that keeps on going. Now there are some useful symbols. The first one is the set membership symbol. It means that a particular object is an element of the set. For example, if I want to say that 3 is an element of set, I'll write it like this. Similarly, if I want to say that a certain object is not a member of the set, I'll use the negation of this symbol. For example, 5 is not a member of A. Here, NA represents the number of elements in set A or the size of set A. We can see that the number of elements in set A is 4 and the number of elements in an empty set is obviously 0 as it contains no elements in it. We define a set by specifying its members. There are several ways to do this. One way is by describing the elements of a set in words. For instance, A is a set of first 4 positive integers. Another way is by writing a list of all the members of the set separated by commas and enclosing the list in curly brackets. For example, we define a set A whose members are 1, 2, 3 and 4. There is another mathematical notation for describing a set called set builder notation. Using set builder notation, we choose a symbol, typically a small letter, to represent any element of the set. For example, here X represents any element of the set A. In the bracket, we write X followed by a colon sign, then state the property that every X must satisfy. It is read as A is the set of all X such that X is a positive integer less than 5. There is another way of describing a set which is more like a diagram. For this, consider a set A with members 1, 2, 3 and 4. We can represent set A by a closed figure, a circle, and we'll write its element inside the circle. Now let's write a few elements outside this circle and enclose them in a rectangle named as epsilon. Now there's something important happening here. Have you noticed that the elements of A are listed inside the circle? Then what are the elements of this epsilon? Obviously, the numbers listed inside this rectangle including the circle. This rectangle is the set that contains all the objects under consideration. Such a set is called universal set and is represented by epsilon. Observe that the set A contains whatever is inside the circle and exterior of A is not the part of A. So all such elements of universal set that are not in A will form a new set called A complement and is represented by A with prime on it. And the elements that belong to this set are 5 and 6 because A complement is a set of all elements of epsilon which are not in A. Clearly, 2 elements of set A complement and 4 elements of set A will contribute to a total of 6 elements of epsilon, that is the universal set. This is called a Venn diagram, which is basically a diagrammatic way of representing the sets and their relationships. Let's take an example to get more clarity on this concept. Consider the universal set epsilon as the set of all integers. And we know that in the set of integers we have positive, negative integers as well as 0. To the right of 0 I have listed the positive integers and to the left of 0 I have listed the negative integers, the way we do on a real number line. Then this epsilon or the universal set can be represented by a rectangle and its elements will be listed inside this rectangle, like the numbers 0, the numbers 1, 2, 3 and the numbers -1, -2 and -3. Now let us define the set A as the set of all positive integers. Then I'll collect the positive integers from the set epsilon and write them inside the set A. So basically A is lying inside the rectangle. Now these are the positive integers. The leftover numbers are negative integers and 0. They will form a new set, obviously the set A complement, since A complement is made of those elements of epsilon that are not included in A. Now we can define A complement as a set of all negative integers and 0. Now let's solve the worked example number 4. It is given that the epsilon is the set of all x such that x is an integer between 1 and 10 inclusive and A is the set of all x such that A is a perfect square. Here the first task is to list all the elements of epsilon and A. Clearly in the set epsilon, 1 and 10 are inclusive. So 1 and 10 will be included while listing the elements of epsilon. And A will be the set of all perfect squares 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 and so on. Do you think it is correct? No. Remember that the set A does not contain all the perfect squares because the elements under consideration are only the integers between 1 and 10 inclusive. So the only perfect squares in the range 1 to 10 are 1, 4 and 9. The next thing is to draw a Venn diagram. We know that the universal set is represented by a rectangle and the set A will be represented by a circle inside the rectangle by listing its elements inside the circle and the remaining elements outside the circle but inside the rectangle. Now by reading the Venn diagram, list the elements of A complement. We know that A complement is actually having those elements of epsilon which are not inside A, not inside the circle. So A complement becomes the set containing elements 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10. Describe the set A complement in words. Since A is the set of all perfect squares in the range 1 to 10, then definitely A complement is the set of all numbers which are not perfect squares between 1 and 10 inclusive. Now state the values of n epsilon, na and na prime. Clearly, the number of elements in universal set is 10, the number of elements in the set A is 3 and the number of elements in set A prime is 7. Now the question is, if you add the number of elements of A and A complement, will it be equal to the number of elements of epsilon? The answer is yes, since A and A complement contain all the elements of epsilon and their elements are not the same. 3 elements are in A and 7 elements are in A complement. Now there is a question for you all. Given that set A is having members 1, 2 and 3, can we define A complement if we do not define what the universal set is? Think for a while. Can A complement be defined if we do not define universal set? Recall what the set A complement actually is. So far we have seen how to define sets and their members through the use of set builder notations. Now we'll learn about several other types of relations between sets One such relation is equality. If two sets contain exactly the same elements, they are said to be equal. For example, set A with elements 1, 2 and 3 and set B with elements 2, 3 and 1 are equal. Notice that it doesn't matter that the elements are listed in different orders because the listing order is irrelevant. So, if sets A and B contain the same elements, then they are said to be equal sets. Another important relation between sets is the relation of subsets. If all the elements of set A are also contained in set B, then we say that A is a subset of B. This relation is denoted by using the subset symbol, like this. This subset symbol expresses the idea of includes or contains. Notice that if two sets A and B are equal, then they are subsets of each other. This is because all the elements of A are also the members of B and all the elements of B are also the members of A. Hence, they are subset of each other. The idea of subset can be defined for a single set as well. And since every set is equal to itself, therefore every set is also the subset of itself. Here it is written as A is a subset of A. So the subset symbol can be used whenever all the elements of A are also the elements of B, whether A has the same number of elements as B or has fewer elements. But when A has fewer elements, we can be more specific and call A a proper subset of B. We denote this by using the proper subset symbol, which is the subset symbol without a line underneath. So for A to be a proper subset of B, there should be at least one element of B that is not in A. Now, let's see how to draw the Venn diagram of subsets. Consider the sets A and B with such elements. Clearly, B is a subset of A. Now, to draw the Venn diagram, the set A is represented by a circle and its elements are listed inside it. Set B has to be drawn inside set A since every element of B is an element of A and B is not equal to A. So B is a proper subset of A as shown in the figure. Here we are given a discussion scenario. Two sets P and Q are defined as shown in the Venn diagram. The question is P a subset of Q or vice versa? We will list the elements of each set by studying the Venn diagram. We observe that neither P is a subset of Q nor Q is a subset of P. Because not every element of P is in Q, there is only one element A of P that is in Q and vice versa. Hence, P and Q are not subsets of each other. Now, let's solve the worked example number 5. It is given that X is the set of letters in the word Singapore and Y is the set of letters in the word pins. Now, the first task is to draw a Venn diagram to represent X and Y. Here, it is not compulsory to list the elements of X and Y in set notation as none of the letters in any word is being repeated. To draw the Venn diagram, first we'll represent the set X by a circle and its elements will be listed inside it. Then by observing the elements, the set Y will be drawn inside X. Now the question is Y a subset of X? Explain. Yes, Y is a proper subset of X because every element of Y is also an element of X and Y is not equal to X. So the next topic is listing all the subsets and proper subsets of a set. Consider the set S whose elements are 1 and 2. What are all the subsets and proper subsets of S? Students, remember that a proper subset contains fewer elements than the set it is a subset of. So if S contains 2 elements, its proper subsets should be the set containing 1 element. First possibility is the set containing 1 and the second possibility is the set containing 2. An interesting fact is that an empty set can be drawn inside any set. So, an empty set is a proper subset of every set. Now, we can list all the proper subsets of S that are empty set, the set containing 1 and the set containing 2. Now, if we have to write all the subsets of S, then one more set is added to this list, that is the set S itself. You have learned this earlier in this lecture, that every set is a subset of itself. Let's do some more practice of listing the subsets. Consider the set S that is the set of all x such that x is a prime number between 0 and 10. 10 is inclusive. What are all the subsets of S? For that, first of all, we need to know the members of S. Since x is greater than 0, so it starts from 1, 2, 3 up to 10. From this list, now cross out the numbers which are not prime. Remember, a prime number is the number with only two factors, 1 and the number itself. So 1, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10 are not prime. So the only primes are 2, 3, 5 and 7. Hence the elements of the set S are 2, 3, 5 and 7. Now in listing all the subsets, the first subset is the empty set or phi. Then we have the set containing single elements 2, 3, 5 and 7. Now for writing the subsets containing two elements, I'll fix the first digit 2 and I'll make its pair with 3, then with 5 and then with 7. Then drop the first digit 2 and make a pair of 3 with 5 and 3 with 7. And hence the last pair is 5, 7. Now for writing the subsets containing three elements, first we'll take 2, 3, 5, then 2, 3, 7. Then drop this 3 and write 2, 5, 7. And the last one will be 3, 5, 7. And in the end, adding set itself to the list. If you want to know how many subsets a set possesses in general, it is obtained by the relation 2 to the power n, where n is the number of elements in the set. For example, here number of elements in S is 4. So we have 2 to the power 4, that is 16 subsets of S. Similarly, a set containing 3 elements will have 2 to the power 3, that is 8 subsets. Before starting the written work, keep these points in your mind. Remember to recognize that a set can be expressed by a Venn diagram. Recognize that the complement of a set A is denoted by A prime. Recognize A prime as the set of those elements of universal set which are not the members of A. Recognize that a set A is said to be the subset of B if all elements of A are also the elements of B. Recognize that a set A is said to be a proper subset of B if all elements of A are also the elements of B and there exists at least one element of B that is not in A. Now let's move on to the assignment. This is your assignment for week number 7. I have listed the questions topic wise so that you have the questions of the same kind together. So this is all for today. I hope you find this lecture informative and helpful. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.